Hi, this is Josh Cantwell, and welcome back to Strategic Real Estate Investor Radio and Strategic Real Estate Investor TV. I'm the CEO of StrategicRealEstateCoach.com. My name is Josh Cantwell, and I appreciate you listening in to another edition of Strategic Real Estate Investor Radio. And what I wanted to do today was just kind of talk through some of the deals that we're working on right now, some of the inventory that we're working on right now, kind of show you whether it's in video format or audio format, depending on where you're listening to this from, and just talk through about, a half a dozen deals or so that we're closing on, buying, flipping right now, in today's market, so you can see what we're up to, and we'll learn a few things about our inventory, learn a few things about your own, learn a few things from us that you can kind of use in your own business. So I'm just going to kind of go right into the internet here, right to Zillow, and show you a bunch of properties. You could look these properties up online if you want, and check out some of the actual properties that we own. So the first one is 3665 Brookside Drive in Norton, Ohio. This is a 4-bed, 2-bath, basically 2,200 square foot house. It was listed through HUD. It was a HUD property. It was listed for over $80,000 or more. And we bought the property on August 27th for $62,000. We received, to fund this deal, we received $110,000 of private money. We received a first mortgage of $73,000 from a private lender's self-directed IRA. We received $17,000 from a second private lender in their self-directed IRA, and then a third mortgage, which is actually my wife's self-directed IRA. And the way we structured it is the first mortgage is going to get 12% interest or 15% of our profits. The second mortgage is going to get 12% interest. And the third mortgage, which is my wife, is going to get 12% interest or 30% of the profits, whichever is higher. And so we decided to buy this property in my brother's LLC. And the reason why is because my brother, I can lend to him, my wife can lend to him. We can't lend to ourselves, but we can lend to my brother. So we structured it that some of the profits that we're going to take back, into my wife's self-directed IRA and kind of juice up her IRA. And so she's putting in $20,000 from her self-directed account, but 30% of the profits will go back into her self-directed IRA. Okay, so we bought the property for $62,000. The plan is to put approximately $45,000 into the house, so we're going to be into it for about $105,000, $107,000. And the Zestimate on this property is $149,000. We value the property at $170,000. If we do all the things that we're going to do to it and put roughly $45,000 into it, we're going to put an all-new kitchen, all-new plumbing, all-new electrical, brand new garage door, all new windows. We're going to paint the siding. We're going to fix the siding that needs to be fixed. New roof, all new bathrooms. Pretty much a brand new house, new HVAC. And for about $45,000 to $50,000, we're going to be able to do all that. We'll be into it for about $110,000 or less. So you can, kind of look through the pictures if you want. If you look at this online at 3665 Brookside Drive. It's got a sweet yellow kitchen. It's got a fireplace. It definitely needs a lot of work to it. And it's, if we wanted to make this thing livable, we could make it livable for probably $20,000 or $25,000. But we don't want to just make it livable. We want to fix it up, make it immaculate, and sell it. And so it's going to take us probably 3 months of rehab work, and our contractor, his name is Gino, is working on Brookside Drive. The next property is 1473 Lakewood Avenue. And Lakewood Avenue is a property that we purchased. It was considered the Lakewood Mansion, the Lakewood Avenue Mansion. It's known by a lot of people in this market as the Lakewood Avenue Mansion. And it needed everything. This property has been a little bit of a thorn in our side because it needed so much work. It was really tough for us to get permits from the city. The city was, just really particular about what we were going to do to this house because everybody knew about the Lakewood Avenue Mansion. And it's called the Lakewood Avenue Mansion because it's almost 2,600 square feet, where a lot of properties in this area are probably 1,500 square feet. So we bought this property in July 2014 for $40,000. We've invested nearly $65,000 into it, so we're into it actually for about $105,000. And because we've had this property for a little bit over a year, we've had another about $15,000 in financing costs to our private lenders. And so, but the house is immaculate now. We've completely fixed and repainted the siding. It's got all new plumbing, all new electrical, all new drywall. It's got a new deck on the back of the house. We had to jack up the back of the house in order to fix the foundation that was crumbling. That was part of the permit problem that we had with the city. We completely redid the deck on the first floor, which is this picture. We did the deck on the second floor, which is this picture. Completely redid the kitchen with the beautiful backsplash, new cabinets, new countertops. It's got granite, tile floors, a beautiful sink, stainless steel appliances. You can see it again if you look at the pictures online, 1473 Lakewood Avenue. It's got a huge living room, huge sitting room, tons of square footage upstairs, 5 bedrooms. We had to completely paint and kind of shore up the basement. The basement is not a finished basement because this is a 100-year-old house. This house was built in 1900, I think. It was built in 1900, so it's 115 years old. But now it's a gorgeous home, and we sold the home just the other day for $175,000. So we're into it for $120,000, which includes all of our expenses. It also includes all of our financing costs. We're in it for $120,000 at the moment, and we sold it for $175,000. So that leaves us $55,000 of profit. Now, after we pay the realtors, after we pay the closing costs, we're going to make about $35,000 to $40,000 on this house. So even though the deal's taken us over a year, because of the permit problems, the foundation problems, the house literally needed everything, and that's why we put $65,000 into it. And dealing with the city of Lakewood is not fun, but we redid all the hardwood, and it's just a gorgeous house, and it's sold, and it's supposed to be closing about 45 days from now, and we'll make about a $40,000 profit. The next property is 907 School Drive. School Drive, we bought this property, again, you can see in Zillow. Again, this is another deal that took us a long time. If we bought it in April 2014, it's been nearly a year and a half. And I'm not embarrassed to say that sometimes deals they go sideways. They just do. And so this deal, we had a massive problem with our contractor. We had a contractor who just wasn't honest, who said he was at the job doing work and wasn't. And so we bought the property for $55,000 last April with all of our private money that we have and all of our financing costs. We were able to get $75,000 from a first mortgage private lender and $13,000 from a second mortgage private lender. So we're into it for $88,000 plus the financing costs over the last year or so. We're into this thing for almost $100,000. I'll be honest with you, almost $100,000. It's pending. We have it sold. It's closing. You can see if you look it up on Zillow right now, 907 School Drive. It's pending. We have a buyer, and the buyer's paying $125,000 for it. So, this is a deal that took us a long time. We had a super rough winter last year in Northeast Ohio. We had guys that couldn't work for about a month because it was sub-zero degrees, the weather. And we had a contractor problem on this house. But at the end of the day, even though the property is sold, we've actually had 4 buyers on this house as well. 4 buyers. The first 3, their financing all fell through. They backed out of the house. And so finally we have a buyer. They're going to close in 2 weeks. And we're going to walk away probably after all of our costs, all of our financing costs, closing costs. We're probably going to make about $16,000 or $18,000. Which kind of sucks. But it's still $15,000 or $18,000 profit. All right. Next property is 364 Southwest Avenue. And this property is a property that we bought back in April. And it's just about to go on the market. It is a property in Talmadge, Ohio. So 364 Southwest Avenue in Talmadge, Ohio. This property needed almost everything. We borrowed about $110,000 from our private lenders. We bought it for $63,000. We put about $45,000 into it. We redid all the hardwood floors, completely redid the kitchen, some new electrical, some new plumbing, all new cabinets, all new countertops, all new backsplash. Completely redid the hardwood floors, redesigned some of the kitchen, and we kept some of the historic wood that's in the house. The doors, the trim, that's really nice, historic sort of stuff. And Talmadge, Ohio is a very hot market right now. It's a really hot market. And this is a big property, 1,900 square feet. We also added about 450 square feet to it by finishing the third floor attic, which was previously unfinished. We finished the third floor attic, which now is making the property over 2,500 square feet. And we'll be into it for about 110 when it goes on the market. It's going to go on the market probably about 3 weeks from now. And we're going to list this house for $184,900. So we'll be into it for 110 plus our financing costs. We'll be into it for about 115, and it's going to go on the market for $184,900. And this property, when we bought it, was a bank-owned house. We bought it as is. Apparently, there was a chicken coop in the backyard, which is pretty sweet. There was apple trees and pear trees in the backyard, which, doesn't help at all as far as selling the property. But if you look at Zillow and you look at recently sold homes, there's comps, like there's this comp right here at 179.9. There's other comps at 130, 130. This property will, absolutely be in that high 170, 180 range because it's going to be almost 2,500 square feet. And Talmadge is a really hot market right now, and properties in Talmadge sell very, very, very fast. Okay, next property is 100 U.S. Grant Street. U.S. Grant Street is a commercial building that I own. It's a 8,600 square feet office building. If you look on LoopNet right now, this is just being listed. It was listed before with a realtor that was not doing a very good job of marketing it, so I switched listing agents. And so 100 U.S. Grand Street is an 8,600 square foot office building. And I'm actually next week, I'm re-top coating the entire parking lot. It's going to cost me $30,000 to re-top coat the parking lot. Okay. And we're going to lease this property up for about $12 a square foot. Okay. $12 a square foot. So if you look at 86.23 times $12 a square foot, get $100,000 a year in cash flow, okay? And you figure there's usually about a 30% expense ratio with commercial buildings, okay, for property taxes, for maintenance, stuff like that. So you're looking at $103,000 minus about $30,000 in expenses. So I'll be getting approximately $70,000 to $80,000 a year in positive net cash flow. Right now, I have a private lender who's given me $230,000 for this building for purchase and rehab, and I'll have to invest about $400,000 total dollars into this building. $400,000 total dollars into this building for purchase, rehab, and to bring the property taxes current. The previous owner had about $100,000, $130,000 in property taxes that they did not pay. So I was able to acquire the property for $165,000 plus $130,000 in past due property taxes plus $100,000 in improvements. So I'll be into it for about $400,000. Now, after I'm into it for $400,000 and after I lease it up, the building is going to have, with a 10% cap rate, at a 10 cap, the building will be worth about $1 million. And I'll be into it for about $400,000. So this building will have $600,000 of equity, plus about $70,000 to $80,000 a year in positive net cash flow. Now, when I refinance the building and pay off my private lenders, I'll probably have about a $400,000 mortgage on it, and it'll be worth $1 million. and I'll have $600,000 of equity. I don't really need any cash out of the building because we have income from lots of other places. So I probably won't do any cash out of it, and I'll have a $400,000 mortgage on it, commercial mortgage, at about 5% interest on the commercial mortgage. It'll be a 30-year amortization with probably a 10-year balloon, and $400,000 a year at 5%. It'll be about $2,000 to $2,500 a month. So let's just say $30,000 a year in mortgage payments. So I'll be getting about $70,000 to $80,000 net income, minus about $30,000 a year in mortgage payments. So we'll make about $40,000 a year, $40,000 to $50,000 a year in net income, after all expenses, after all debt service, and have about $600,000 in equity. So that's a project that we're working on right now. That's pretty cool. Next project is 242 Sandstone Ridge Way. 242 Sandstone Ridge Way is a property that I bought in 2013. I bought it, rehabbed it, and then rented it out. And was getting $1,300 a month in rent. And I was renting it actually to a Cleveland Browns player. It was a player who was on their practice squad. And he was recently cut and released from the company. And so I put a little bit of improvements into it to just clean up the mess that he made. And I ended up renting it again to the head trainer for the professional hockey team in town. It's pretty cool. And so I was able to refinance my private lenders out of this property. I put a conventional bank loan on it. I got a conventional bank loan for $140,000, so I only owe $140,000 on this property. And the house appraised at $218,000. Okay, so I'm into it for $140,000. It appraised for $218,000, and we put this deck on the back here. It's pretty cool, and it's currently rented out for $1,600 a month. So my mortgage payment on this property is $1,117 a month. That includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And I rented it out for $1,600 a month, and I'm only into it for $140,000, and it's worth $218,000. So we have about $78,000 of equity in this rental property, and we're cash flowing about $475 a month positive. Okay, so that's 242 Sandstone Ridge. The next property is 5636 Fairland Road. This is another property that's taken us a little while. For whatever reason, again, my brother, who was handling the contracting work on this property, the contractors, we just had a hard time managing the contractors. But we bought this property for just $27,000. We bought it from auction.com on a live auction. And we fixed it up, and we put it on the market for $117,000. And it's now pending. It's sold for $97,900. And we are into it for $69,000 plus financing costs. So $69,000 is our purchase plus rehab. If you include about another $7,000 or $8,000 in financing costs, we're into it for the middle 70s, 75, 77. We have it sold for $97,000. So this little house, we're going to make about $12,000. Nothing crazy on this house, but just a quick little flip that kind of got away from us as far as, again, the weather, the contractor not showing up on time. The house was on the market for a while. It's kind of out in the sticks. It's kind of out in the boonies a little bit, out in the country. We did finish the third floor, so it was just a first floor. It was a 2-bedroom. We added the third floor bedroom upstairs. We added some square footage upstairs and cleaned up the basement and put the property on the market. So not a huge deal, but again, with all the flips that we do, every property makes sense, and so and we're making profits from every property. We paid off our private lenders. Our private lenders get at least 12% interest. And we made about $10,000 on this deal. The next property is 26930 Oxford Park Lane. Now this property is just ridiculous. This property we bought it for $77,000. It's 1,600 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath, and we've invested nearly $60,000 into the house to rehab it. So we're going to be into it for about $135,000 to $140,000, and the house is going on the market this Saturday. Okay, it's going on the market this Saturday for $219,000. We'll be into it for about $140,000. Okay, plus financing costs on top of that, so we'll be into it for about $150,000, let's say. And it's going to be on the market this week for $219,000. And I don't know if I have pictures. I don't think I have pictures of the work that we've done there. So it would be tough for me to show you all the pictures at this property. But we've done everything to it. It's got granite countertops. It's got marble and slate floors. It's got just, ridiculous granite countertops in the kitchen and the bathrooms. It was a hoarder house. So we had to get rid of all the trash. We had to cut back all the trees in the yard, the front yard, the backyard. We've had to repaint the exterior of the home. We had to do all new electrical, all new plumbing, all new kitchens, all new bathrooms. Like I said, completely tear out all the landscaping. And it's been a project. It's been about a 4-month rehab project. But we'll be into it for $135,000 to $140,000, and it's going to go on the market for $219,000. So, and this house will probably sell in a day. It will literally probably sell in a day, and I can't wait to show you the pictures of it when we put this property on the market this week. The last case study I want to tell you about is 2477 West 5th Street. This is a property that I've owned for 10 years. I actually bought this property. It was a previous personal residence of mine over 10 years ago. I lived there for about 2 years before I moved out, but I kept it as a rental property. And so this is interesting because I bought the property for $215,000. You can look that up in public record. And this neighborhood of Cleveland, okay, downtown Cleveland, is just ridiculous. It's the kind of artsy art gallery, art walk neighborhood. There's like 20 art galleries in this neighborhood. There is probably 20 restaurants and bars in this neighborhood. And so I had a tenant in here, and I just recently decided to ask the tenant to move. Okay. And when the tenant moved, I put some money, about $7,000, into getting it cleaned up and fixed up. And we listed it for $329,900. It's just been on Realtor.com for just 3 days. And you can see the pictures online here. It's a 3-bed, 3.5-bath, 1,500 square foot colonial in the Tremont neighborhood of downtown Cleveland. And we've restained all the doors, restained all the decks. There's a deck on the off the master bedroom. There's a slider door off the master with a deck off the back. There is the inside of the house has all really nicely refinished hardwood floors. It's got a beautiful fireplace with tile. It's got crown molding in throughout the whole house. It's got hardwood going up the stairs. It's got a beautiful, kind of gray, light silver finish to the living room and the kitchen. It's got beautiful stainless steel appliances. All the upstairs has been recarpeted and repainted. It's got a jacuzzi tub in the master suite. It's got 3 bedrooms. Just gorgeous finishes here. It's got a finished basement with sort of some, kind of artistic finishes to it. Some very bright colors in the basement, reds and greens and yellows. It's got a finished basement finished bathroom in the basement with brand new tile floors and a full bath. It's got a deck off the rear, a deck off of the detached 2-car garage. It's got beautiful pictures and beautiful views. So if you're on Realtor.com, check out 2477 West 5th Street, and you'll see the aerial photos that we had taken with a drone. We had a professional photographer who has an FAA license that took pictures of the property with a drone. You can see the Cuyahoga River is in the backyard of the property, so it's got a wooded private lot, but then behind the lot is the Cuyahoga River. Beautiful pictures again from the drone that you can see of the property here that's highlighted, and then the neighbors. Now, my neighbor's house 2 doors down to the left right here is under contract for $305,000. He's under contract. So he listed at $329,900 and is under contract for $305,000. We just listed this house for $329,900, and we have a bunch of showings on it this weekend already. You can see the beautiful pictures, the aerial photos with the drone. Here's downtown Cleveland. You can see downtown Cleveland over here. That's the property right there. And there's beautiful pictures of downtown Cleveland and the Terminal Tower, as well as the Steel Yard. Okay, here's the property right here, and there's the river. Here's downtown with Jacobs Field. And if you're familiar with Freeland Lending, my lending office and my lending company is right downtown here, right next to Jacobs Field. So if I wanted to live downtown, which I don't live downtown anymore, but if I did, I could walk to my office in about a half hour. I could bike to my office in about 10 to 15 minutes. I could get a cab ride downtown for $5. Okay, so the allure of this neighborhood is the proximity to downtown, the proximity to the water, the proximity to the lake, the proximity to the art galleries and the restaurants, and it's just a beautiful neighborhood. And of course, my neighbor just sold for $305,000, so I know I'm going to get somewhere around $300,000 or more. Okay, so that gives you an idea of some of our case studies and some of the deals that we're working on right now. I'm recording this audio on September 17th, 2015. So this gives you an idea of some of the case studies we're working on. And this isn't even all of them. This isn't even close to all of them. We have the house on Amstel Avenue, the house on Morrison Avenue, the property on Roycroft that we just bought. We have probably another 10 to 12 additional properties on top of what I've shown you today. So I hope you enjoyed this case study update in our latest edition of Strategic Real Estate Investor Radio. Now, if you're interested in learning more about real estate and how we flip real estate and how we generate cash flows from real estate, visit us online at our website. We set up a special website just for our YouTube and our iTunes listeners, and that website is 55simpleways.com/podcast. And the reason why we use that is because we have a free report that's on that website, which is called 55 Simple and Powerful Strategies That Find Great Real Estate Investments. And so you can download that report for free. You can subscribe to our newsletter at 55simpleways.com/podcast. And when you do that, we'll give you that free report. And we'll also show you how we'll fund all of your deals with no money down. We'll invite you to one of our weekly webinars where we'll show you through my lending company, Freeland Lending, how we'll fund all your real estate deals with no money down. Okay? So visit us at 55simpleways.com/podcast. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this update of some of my very recent case studies and deals that I'm flipping, renting, rehabbing, leasing right now in September 2015, leave us a 5-star rating. Tell us what you like about these kind of radio shows and what we can do better for you. So thanks a lot for being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.